on knocking wood to be smooth sailing, 'cause I'm doing my towels and my white side myself. Stepping out with my baby can't go wrong, 'cause I'm in right. Ask me when will the day be? The big day may be tonight. Stepping. I'm stepping. I'm stepping. I'm stepping. Yeah, stepping. I'm stepping. I'm stepping. I'm stepping. Yeah, stepping. Out with my baby. I'm stepping. Out with my baby. I'm stepping. Out with my baby. I'm stepping. Yeah, stepping. Out with my baby. I'm stepping. Out with my baby. I'm stepping. Out with my baby. I'm stepping. Stepping out with my baby. Can't go wrong, 'cause I'm in right. That's for sure, not for maybe. But I'm all dressed up tonight. Stepping out with my honey. Can't be back. Feels so good. Never felt quite so sunny. And I keep on knocking wood to be smooth sailing, 'cause I'm living my sails. The bright shine on my shoes and on my nails. Stepping out with my baby, can't go wrong, 'cause I'm in right. Ask me when will the day be? The big day may be tonight.
Say good morning again. We're going to give you a few minutes to eat here, but before we give you a lot of time to eat, we're going to let Kathy Morris come up from the City Council. She's our representative today. Will you please welcome Kathy Morris.
On behalf of the City of Hudson, I'd like to welcome all of you to the 9th Annual Hot Air Affair. This is also the kickoff to the sesquicentennial event, not only for the City of Hudson, but pretty much for the state of Wisconsin. At least it was the first major event for the state of Wisconsin, but you'll be hearing more about that from some of the other speakers this morning. We're delighted to have you here with us. We hope you'll find our hospitality warm and inviting. There are numerous activities planned for this weekend. There should be something for everyone, so a good time should be had by all. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the people who organize this event. For those of you who've never organized something like this, it's an unbelievable amount of work, and this group always does a fantastic job. I'd also like to thank the 3M company for underwriting the souvenir booklet, A Time to Fly, and to Mr. Peter Bear for setting that up at 3M. And most of all, I'd like to thank all the people who give their time to make this event happen. Because without all of you, this event would not get off the ground. You'll pardon the pun. And on that note, I'm going to let you eat your breakfast. There are numerous other speakers and lots of activities. So have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy it. Excuse me.
Now that we've had a little wake up from the Hudson High School Sweet Choir and a little coffee to get us going, we have a wonderful program for you this morning, and we have some distinguished guests to introduce to you. But before I introduce some of our guests, at these type of events, when you get up this early in the morning and so many of you show your support of an event such as the Hot Air Affair, and that you're willing to support not only the events that go on during the day, but some of the added activities that take place this early in the morning, I think all of you deserve a round of applause for being here this early, and we appreciate your support. Some of the guests that we have with us today will be speaking a little later on in our program, but I would like them to stand so that we can introduce them. State Representative Sheila Harsdorf. Our Chamber of Commerce Director, Mary Claire Olson. A representative from the University of Wisconsin, River Falls, Mark Kinders. And without the next few guests, as Kathy said, we wouldn't be able to get up in the air this weekend. The United Van Crew. There we go. We have our daredevil aeronaut, Peter Craig. Gas balloonist, Don Picard. And last but not least, our balloon master for this weekend, John Dietrich. Wisconsin's celebrating their sesquicentennial on May 29th in Madison this year. The year is filled with celebrations and events throughout the different communities in Wisconsin, and they've been encouraged to participate. And what we would like to do is share some of the events and activities that are going to be going on in western Wisconsin for you this morning. If you please welcome Mary Claire Olson from the Hudson Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau.
So busy talking with Peter, who's so thrilled to go up in the balloon. Ever been in a hot air balloon, Peter? And we've talked through all those anxieties, and he's all ready to go. I told him it was better him than me. No, just kidding. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks, Tom. And welcome. We're pleased to have you here in Hudson as we kick off our sesquicentennial events. Last April, just to give you an idea, a number of community leaders and representatives from community organizations met for several meetings to talk about how did we here in Hudson want to celebrate this great sesquicentennial event. And after a number of meetings, a calendar was developed, and I'm just going to give you a few highlights of some of the upcoming events that we have happening here in Hudson. We've added some special events to celebrate this great occasion, and for the events that we already had in place, we added the sesquicentennial theme to them. And the Hot Air Affair this weekend kicks off our year-long celebration, and it looks like it's going to be a great weekend. The fog is clearing, the sun's going to come out, a little light wind, and I think that's it. That's what you need, Abby, right? Yes. That's perfect ingredients. I've got that down, Pat. And we have received hundreds of calls throughout the week at the Chamber office responding to inquiries about this weekend, so I know there will be many, many people here. And just to give you an idea of some other events that we have coming up, May 29th, Statehood Day, which will be celebrated across the state. And here in Hudson, we're going to be having a community celebration in Lakefront Park. June 13th is going to be a baseball game with the boosters and intergovernmental teams with old-time uniforms. So it's a chance for the community and the government teams to work together, or play against each other, I should say. July 2nd, we'll kick off the 4-day booster celebration. They're going to be doing a number of events with the sesquicentennial theme. We'll kick that off with the Minnesota Orchestra playing in Lakefront Park. And also in July, we're going to have a bike race with old-time bikes right in downtown Hudson. So these are just a few of the activities that we have planned, and watch the Hudson Star Observer or call the Chamber for more information. But let's have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Claire. Mark Kinders is the director of the News Bureau for the University of Wisconsin River Falls, and he also serves as a marketing chairman for our St. Croix Valley Regional Tourism Alliance. For those of you who are not familiar with the Tourism Alliance, it's the communities, 19 communities along the riverway, along the St. Croix River between Wisconsin and Minnesota. That portion of Minnesota at one time originally was part of Wisconsin. So it's unique that at this time we're going into a collaboration where we're still working with Minnesota communities along the river to support and promote this area. Mark's going to give us some highlights of what's going to be going on in River Falls at the university and along the St. Croix River.
This is about my third or fourth year coming to one of your breakfasts, and I really have to salute Hudson. You folks do a terrific job with your Hot Air Affair. It's a real showpiece of the Valley, especially at this time of the year. I really salute you, and I can tell you that my wife and I personally, we always enjoy coming up here as tourists, and you always separate us from quite a bit of our money in our wallets. We always have a good time. And I also wanted to take a special note and thank you for letting us use the expertise of Mary Claire on a regular basis. Mary Claire is the Vice President of our Regional Tourism Alliance and also a member of our marketing chair, and she provides us a lot of good advice and counsel, and she also ensures that Hudson plays a vital role in our alliance of 19 communities. Hudson is a real anchor for us, and obviously Mary Claire is playing an important role in that. As Cheryl indicated, the alliance is 19 communities in 6 counties: Pierce, Polk, St. Croix, Dakota, and Washington, and Chisago counties. And our real premise is to try to market the Valley as a whole and ensure that we get the information out about each of the communities. We have a number of things that are coming up this year that we thought you might be interested in knowing about. One of them is coinciding with National Tourism Week on May 5th. We will be holding our second annual Taste of the Valley. We did this last year in Stillwater, and this year I hope you can attend. It'll be up in New Richmond at the Heritage Center, and we'll have a lot of various vendors there, restaurants from the Valley, as well as a lot of artisans. And it's just a good opportunity to see what's going on in the Valley and the kinds of things that people are doing to draw more visitors to the Valley. And then also on August 5th, and it's hard for us to believe we were just talking about this, we'll be holding our 5th annual Governor's Boat Cruise on the St. Croix River. We've done this every year, and we've had both Governor Thompson and Governor Carlson participate. It's a good opportunity to get an update of the kinds of things we've been doing in the Valley, and also just to visit with other people in the Valley who are in the hospitality and tourism industry and community leaders. Right now, we're hoping that the boat will be departing this year from Prescott and Hastings and going on about a 90-minute cruise of the river. A couple of other things more related to the university and also to River Falls. Just as Wisconsin is celebrating its sesquicentennial this year, so is the city of River Falls. And we have a Sesqua committee that is comprised of the university, the school district, our Main Street project, and also the city. And we've been busy working on our sesquicentennial celebration for September 25th and 26th, and I hope you all come down and visit us. We do have a couple of events that are going on. There will be some real highlights for us that are tied to the Wisconsin sesquicentennial. I hope within about 2 or 3 weeks that we will be able to officially announce that we have signed a contract to bring the Big Top Chautauqua to River Falls with its 2.5-hour touring show on Wisconsin sesquicentennial history. We have that set for September 25th, and we'll be the only site in western Wisconsin where you'll be able to see the show. With first place at the Chautauqua will start their tour as they head across the state of Wisconsin for about 30 shows. And also, we're hoping, we haven't signed the agreement on this yet, but we are also hoping, and it looks like we will be the only location in the state of Wisconsin where Garrison Keillor will do a cameo appearance. Tied to the show as well, too, there will also be a component, working with local school districts. In addition to doing a general show, the Chautauqua also will do about 2 45-minute shows for kids through K through 8. So we'll have probably close to 6,000 school kids from western Wisconsin that will be able to see the show as well. One other thing that we'll have going on that weekend too is the performance of an original play that's being researched and written by a couple of faculty members of the university. It's called Entering the Circle, and it's based on the diaries of a River Falls farm wife in the 1890s talking about life at that time and her role in her husband's farm operation, and we think it'll be a really interesting play. But those are just some of the things that we have going on. And as I said, I hope you do mark those dates on your calendar. And again, it's May 5th for the Taste of the Valley, August 5th for the Governor's Tour, and September 25th and 26th for the River Falls Sesquicentennial. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. A little bit of Wisconsin trivia. River Falls was originally named Greenwood, and River Falls, although many people believe it was originally named River Falls because of the water fall that's in River Falls, that was really the third choice name for it. They had, Greenwood was already a name of another community in Wisconsin, so that was turned down. They put in for another, I believe it was Greenview, and that was already taken as a post office in Wisconsin. So River Falls is really their third attempt at naming their community 150 years ago. As we said, Wisconsin's celebrating their 150th year, and it wouldn't be a celebration if we couldn't promote it wider than just Wisconsin. So the U.S. Post Office is coming out with a sesquicentennial stamp, and we have Debbie Cleon from the Hudson Post Office, who's going to show us a little preview of the stamp. Debbie?
Thank you. I have brought along a picture, and it's just a photograph of what the statehood stamp will look like, and the stamp will be issued in Madison only on the anniversary of the state, and that will be May 29th. On the following day, May 30th, which is a Saturday, the Hudson Post Office will have a special cancellation of this stamp, and anyone from out of town who would like that can simply send an envelope to the Hudson Post Office. We're working with the chamber to design a special cancellation, and they can just send that to the Hudson Post Office, and we'll return it to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. We'll put this on the back table so that you can take a look at it. Evie Nirvan and Carla Martin have been our chairman for the Hudson Hot Air Affair, and Evie is going to update us on some of the books, the commemorative books that you see in front of you. So would you please welcome Evie Nirvan? But you just can't take them out in public.
Good morning. Thank you so very much for coming. This has been an exciting year for the Hudson Hot Air Affair Committee to plan this weekend. The weather is in charge. We're in charge, we hope. We look good, even though we may be scampering around in the background. If you have any questions or need our help during the weekend, don't hesitate to contact one of the staff people, and we'll see what we can do to help you. As Cheryl has been saying, it takes a lot of people to make an event like this happen. We'd like to recognize, and I know he's not going to be happy about this, but we're going to do it anyway, our corporate sponsor for the Hudson Hot Air Affair, Jeff Hazley. Could you please come up, Jeff? Jeff has been our corporate sponsor for the last several years, and as he mentioned last night, he is going to be the sponsor again next year, so we already have a commitment for 1990. For those of you who haven't seen these yet, and Debbie, thank you so much for the post office several years ago doing a Thaddeus Lowe aerogram for us. We have the Thaddeus Lowe framed pictures with our Balloonmeister John Dietrich's signature on the bottom. So we'd like to present on behalf of the Hudson Hot Air Affair to Jeff Hazley from Vernix Pepsi a very, very warm and hearty thank you for support of the Hot Air Affair.
But not holding hands.
We started working about a year ago on putting together our program for this historic weekend, and it's amazing the folks you can find on the internet and the folks that are here to help us. Don Picard from Minneapolis will be doing our gas balloon demonstration at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Peter Krieg came all the way from Indianapolis, the only smoke balloon reenactor in the world, and we're thrilled to death to have him here. So Carla, could you present our Thaddeus Lowe Awards to Don and Peter? I know this is a dangerous thing to do, but we've been making notes over on the sidelines of the sponsors and partners for the Hot Air Affair who are with us this morning. So we're taking for granted we missed someone. So please do not hesitate when I get done reading the list. If there's anyone else who is a partner or a sponsor, please stand and we'll also recognize you. Erickson Oil Products, Freedom Value Centers, Anderson Windows, Best Western Hudson House Inn, Schoberg and Tavilius, Citizen State Bank, Family Hair Care, St. Croix Feed and Pet Supply, Valpak Direct Mail Marketing, Empire Manufacturing, Old World Bake Shop, Hudson Star Observer, City of Hudson, Ballard Moving and Storage, and Conoco Auto Stop. Is there anyone else? Anyone else that I didn't name? Everybody stand up. We want to give you a round of applause. The Hudson Hot Air Affair is proud to thank 3M for support of the 1998 sesquicentennial A Time to Fly. Through the efforts of Peter Bear and 3M, this observance of Wisconsin's heritage is even more special in the Hudson community. The Hot Air Affair Committee spent the last year researching the history of ballooning in the upper Midwest, searching the files of the State Historical Society of Wisconsin, the Minnesota History Center, the Wisconsin Veterans Museum, the archives of the Circus World Museum in Baraboo, and countless libraries and public and private works and collections. From these books, pictures, and papers came the stories of the gas and smoke balloonists who first took to the skies in the 1850s and 1860s in our area. We learned of the smoke balloons in Stillwater and Red Wing, the gas balloon ascensions in Milwaukee, La Crosse, and St. Paul, the Civil War stories of John Steiner and the Wisconsin troops at Island Number 10. The committee felt this rich heritage should be shared and is proud to announce that 3M agreed. Through the support of 3M, we've produced 10,000 A Time to Fly booklets for distribution at the Hot Air Affair this weekend. In addition to offering the complimentary booklets at events this weekend, the committee will be providing booklets for all fourth graders at the Hudson Public and Parochial Schools, along with students at the middle school. These will also be given out at the education programs that we will be doing this afternoon. And in support of our education program, we'd like to thank the majority of the pilots who are here early, who came into town yesterday, are going to be working with us this afternoon on our education programs. On behalf of the Hudson Hot Air Affair and everyone receiving a booklet souvenir of our special weekend and special year, thank you to 3M. Peter Bear.
One of my first bosses at 3M used to quote his father saying there's no such thing as a speech too short. So in that spirit, I'm going to keep it very short. But hearing about some of the historical things today, that the part of Minnesota just across the river used to be part of Wisconsin, reminded me that that actually Wisconsin used to be part of the Massachusetts territory. And although I've lived in Wisconsin, and Wisconsin's been my home for the last 28 years, I was born in Massachusetts, so I guess it was only natural that I would move to the most beautiful part of Massachusetts. Actually, 3M had two major sporting sponsorship opportunities this winter that we had to decide between. There was the Nagano Winter Olympics and the Hudson Hot Air Affair. We are happy to be here. actually, we are very proud to be the sponsors of this booklet. I haven't seen the booklet, hadn't seen it until just this morning, although Evie had described to me what was going to be there, and it's very impressive, and we're so glad to be involved with it. 3M has approximately 4,000 employees who live in Wisconsin, more than in any other state except Minnesota. And on behalf of the 4,000 plus employees in Wisconsin and all 3Mers, thanks for allowing us to be a part of this. And I would also like to note that I'm not the only person representing 3M here today. Cecilia Mossoff of my department is also with me and very excited about this hot air affair. Thank you.
Volunteers of the Hudson Hot Air Affair started historical research shortly after the 1997 celebration was over. I remember the first meeting when everyone came carrying their latest finds from the local and Twin Cities libraries, pictures of Thaddeus Lowe, stories of the Civil War, observation balloons, and the Smokies. Ruth Peterson and Mary Martin lived in the libraries and the used bookstores. The stack of information was high. Then we put out a call for help, someone to take all of the pieces and put together the puzzle. Judy Schultz answered the call, a new volunteer with an interest in history and a willingness to work long hours for the benefit of all of us. On behalf of the Hudson Hot Air Affair Committee, I would like to recognize and thank Judy Schultz for her hard work and writing skills to produce our wonderful product, our Time to Fly booklet, our souvenir of this year's special event in Wisconsin's Sesquicentennial. Judy, could you come up? This is my first year working with the Hot Air Affair, and it's a very energetic group of people that's on this committee. They make it fun. They keep organized. They keep on top of things, and where some of their energy comes from, especially since I've seen them after these 3 days of events and the cold weather, and have been with them at different times, typically at a tourism convention, and they still have energy to spare. Just as mind-boggling to me. They really are a wonderful group of people and very hardworking. As we said, this is Wisconsin's Sesquicentennial, and we're very honored, the Hudson Hot Air Affair is very honored to be the first kickoff event for the Sesquicentennial year. And it's nice to have a first up at this part of the state. So if you would please welcome Dean Amhouse, the Executive Director of the Wisconsin Sesquicentennial Commission.
Good morning, everyone, and happy birthday, Wisconsin. We have started in 1998 and the celebration of the Sesquicentennial. When Abby recognized the volunteer, it really struck a chord in terms of reminding me what this celebration has become, because it's been an amazing feat in terms of the number of volunteers that have really made this Sesquicentennial a celebration at the grassroots and community level. We literally have thousands and thousands of volunteers across the entire state who have really stepped up to the plate and have said, we want to be a part of the entire celebration. And so it's to really all of you, the volunteers who put in countless amounts of time, that indeed this Sesquicentennial celebration is going to be a tremendous success. And from all reports that we've seen so far, we're exceeding every expectation. We've given over 300 grants across the entire state. I think by the end of the year, we will have as many as 20,000 events that will cut across the entire state from Superior to Kenosha. Jody Racine also. I have to put that plug in. Whenever I see Jody, I got to make sure I plug Racine. She keeps on nudging me. And from Washington Island down to Potosi, there are so many events that are going to be happening. We will have given away over $6 million in terms of funds to communities all over the entire state. And primarily where that funding comes is a result of the license plate, which I noticed out in the parking lot. There are a number of them out there, and if you haven't gotten your plate, this is your last year to get that opportunity. They are going as fast as Beanie Babies, and my two sons brought their Beanie Babies, so you need to grab your sesquicentennial license plates. We had thought we'd sell 190,000 plates. We have now sold, as of the end of last week, over 360,000, way beyond our expectations. And it's really, again, to show the pride of the Wisconsinites who have stepped up and said, we want to be a part of this and participate. We encourage all of you to get out and buy those plates. Again, this is the last year that you're going to be able to do that. I know 3M really wants you to buy those plates. I also have to say, in terms of recognition, is the corporate sponsors that have come up and supported the sesquicentennial. There have been three major sponsors of the entire year: AT&T, SC Johnson Wax, who have loaned us Jody Simonson, and I think many of you have met her. She has been a terrific asset to our entire sesquicentennial team. When I asked Jody to take on a special assignment when she began, I said, Jody, I'd like you to spend about 2 years on the road, traveling across the state, and I think she's having an awful lot of fun doing it. And I must say, I don't know how she's going to go back to doing her job after this. And we've also had the credit unions of Wisconsin, who are the three major sponsors. And I also want to recognize 3M, which is a sponsor as well, in terms of the support that have made this a success. We've already had over 35 million impressions in the newspaper, as well as television and radio coverage. And we've just begun. This is just the beginning of February. We haven't even gotten into all of the events. We also have now 2.4 million people who have learned to say the word sesquicentennial. And we are now working on trying to increase the number who can actually spell it. It's up to about 1.2 million, but those license plates help do that. We want you to all, for myself and my family here, pleased to be here this weekend and to participate in this. I've heard about this Hot Air Affair for a number of years, and it's wonderful that now my job allows me to actually come and enjoy and be a part of this whole thing. And my sons have taken off from school, and I said, you know, this is not necessarily you're off from school. You are going to be learning about and going to school later this afternoon and finding out about hot air ballooning. And then they have to go back to their school and talk about this. And I think what you are doing is so important to these young people, because that's the future of our state for the next few years. And so the programs that you're conducting are very, very valuable. We encourage all of you to participate throughout the year in all of the celebrations. There are many, many of them, and we appreciate being a part of this. This has really been a joy, and to kick off everything that's going to be happening throughout the year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dean. Well, you've heard about all the wonderful, exciting things that are going to be happening here in Hudson, in western Wisconsin, and in all of Wisconsin. So we hope that you're enthused, that you'll participate. This is going to be a wonderful weekend for the Hot Air Affair. The weather is good. I was helping my husband last night pack up. He's going to Florida to go golfing. I said, you're missing it all, because this is going to be a great weekend here, and you should be here with us. Debbie has a few closing remarks. Debbie?
I'd like to make a couple of quick announcements. As we've been saying for the last few weeks, the next time this comes around, on the next sesquicentennial, we'll have our act together and we'll really know how to do it. So please bear with us. those of you who may have gotten through the door before we were totally organized this morning, if you need receipts, you can check at the back table as you leave. We're going to be having merchandise for sale later today, so anyone who is interested in either Hot Air Affair garments, and you can see some of our committee people down here in front wearing our denim shirts. We have sweatshirts. We also have the Wisconsin Sesquicentennial sweatshirts, so if anyone is interested in that, will be set up in the lobby, I believe, Katie, later today. Linda Shield over here in the peach is our resident seamstress on our committee. The quilt in the back of the room is our raffle quilt this year, and Linda has created a picture souvenir of our weekend with pictures of all of the hot air balloons who will be here in town this weekend. Raffle tickets are $1 each, or 6 for $5, and we very much appreciate your support. And Linda will be back by the quilt with some raffle tickets on your way out if you'd like to have a chance on winning your quilt. And I think the last announcement that I have, John, where are we as far as flying this morning?
Well, fog is our only problem. We have just light winds out of the southwest, and the fog apparently is much clearer than flight service is telling us it is. So it looks like it's going to be a go. The sun is done. Looks good.
It's about 8:15 or so now. Should we plan on meeting in the lobby about 8:30? I've got a list of people who have requested from the media and our special guests for flying this morning, so the pilots and the potential riders, let's gather in the lobby about 8:30. We need about a good 20 minutes to get out of these clothes.
On, it's going to zero itself out, and it'll show very subtle changes in altitude, which is good to know when you're flying a balloon or anything else. But there we go. Now we're zeroed out, and with just a little bit of movement, I'll see the needle went up a little bit, but flying the balloon, it'll actually tell me whether I'm climbing or descending. Also, on the top of the envelope of the balloon, we call the material part the envelope, we have a temperature pyrometer. The lead comes down to this instrument here and tells us how hot it is in the top of the balloon. The top of the balloon at this time of the year will probably be only about 100 degrees or so. But in the summertime, that temperature will climb. We can fly at 230 degrees in the top of the balloon. And we don't want to exceed that because it's very hard on the material.
Do you have a compass too that you carry?
Some do, some don't. If I was someplace very unfamiliar, I suppose I would take a compass with me, but around here I'm pretty familiar with the area and don't find it necessary.
When you say 230 degrees, are you talking about Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit.
Okay. Then making comparisons between Celsius and Fahrenheit.
How they get bounced around and then they'll flex and keep coming back. There he is. Million BTUs apiece. That sounds like I'm putting on too many zeros or something, but that's actually what they'll do.
Whoa.
The newer burners actually are 15 million BTUs apiece. One of the reasons that we're able to do that is the fuel is brought in line from the tank. It goes through those coils, and those coils are actually in the flame, so the fuel is preheated.
Oh man.
So when the fuel comes out of the jets, it actually has been preheated already and vaporizes much better, so you get much more horsepower out of it.
Wow. And what is the fuel that you use?
Just an ordinary propane. This is the same propane that we use in stoves and grills and whatever on the ground. Well, some of the my son-in-law assistant here has reminded me that some of the newer balloons actually use nitrogen to pressurize the tanks, and so they can put nitrogen on top of the tanks, giving them pressure in the wintertime like this. I have to heat these tanks because my pilot light is a liquid feed pilot light and brings fuel off the top, and I'd get nitrogen in that fuel if I tried to do that with this one. So this is a little older style and can't use nitrogen. These cables which attach what we call the uprights on the basket, these are the uprights that support the burners and tie onto the basket or the envelope. These cables each go to a nylon, what we call load tape, that goes up all the way over the top of the envelope. And that load tape is what really holds the weight and holds the stress of the balloon. But unfortunately, I've had passengers that work a little tall. In the summertime, it gets a little warm right up underneath those bridges.
That's it. Just to make you feel better.
Like today, if you didn't open the top and just heated up the balloon and sat it on the ground, it would sit there for 45 minutes or so before it would start to sag and lose its heat and drop down. So to make the picking up of the balloon much more efficient, we are able to dump all the air out of the top.
It comes down through there, and what this is attached to that end of it.
Now,
this
is
is what he'll
actually
pull.
where the red line attaches.
So this is the part, this top goes about 2/3 of the way around the balloon, and it's open. About 1/3 of it's sealed, so right to the balloon. Then he'll pull that out.
So when you pull that cord and you open it, what actually do you open?
You're pulling.
It
you're
actually
pulling the
pulls this
Velcro
whole red.
apart?
There's a round red circle of this material here, and it actually pulls it inside the balloon. And of course, then the air can escape all around it. So. It doesn't really pull it completely away, like Tom said. The part of it is sewn in on one side. But, and they mark the line red because it's something you do not touch during the flight. Unless you want your flight to
abbreviate abruptly.
I'm able to, it's a 30-foot long hole inside the balloon that I can open and close during the flight.
Huh.
And the pressure, because the pressure is mainly on the sides of the balloon, it'll close itself with the pressure that's inside the balloon.
So how fast do you drop when you open that hole?
Well, this balloon will drop about a maximum of 1,200 feet a minute.
That's fast enough.
At that point, it's actually like a parachute, and they won't go any faster than that. But, I certainly wouldn't want to land on the ground that fast.
But say if you're flying in high winds, you time it so that when you basket hit, you pull the top out. That way your air is going out. Because if you watch balloons, it'll bounce off the ground and go back up. And on a windy day, you can travel pretty far when you go do that second bounce. You know, that's where, you know, that's why it takes what it does to get your license with a balloon, because you have to be able to do that and control the balloon.
Now landing on a quiet day like today is actually relatively easy. You bring the balloon down real gentle, and it'll bounce a little bit because you can't really control the air that finely. You can land in a high wind and drag along and make that successful. And one of you physicists could tell me how much 105,000 cubic feet of air heated to a certain temperature, how much lift you get from that.
You guys know that?
On a cooler day like today, I could pick up the back of the pickup truck because I've done it. We had it tied on a lake one time and trying to get rides in the wintertime. And in the wintertime, it has more lift, of course, because of the air difference in temperature. And it actually picked up the back of the pickup truck. So
wow.
That was with 3 of us in the balloon, too. So. Well, now we're going to fill it with cold air.
Two lines, two separate lines going through your burners. One for.
This is our main line that feeds right into the nozzle that flies, and then this is the pilot light line.
Okay.
Well, that's
And we
what
operate
you're
the
saying.
pilot light line at a real low pressure. Well, you ready?
Oh, I am ready, and I am so excited. I can hardly wait.
Great.
This is going to be my maiden flight, so I'm really happy about it.
Are you dressed warm enough?
Yes, I am. I have 3 layers under my coat and plenty warm gloves. I'm set. All right.
Good luck.
Thanks so much, Randy.
Happy landing.
From Paul Ashwood. He's going to lead us in a round of Happy Birthday to Wisconsin. It'll be the 150th year that Wisconsin's been a state. So Anderson Windows, Mary Claire Olson, the head of the Chamber of Commerce for Hudson, Paul Ashwood from you'll see him up at the post office, and he's also down at the Phipps. And then we have Paul Birch, the sheriff of the county, and Jeff Hazley from Pepsi, one of our sponsors for the evening. They're going to be judging all the floats that come down for their creativity, originality, the theme they project, the enthusiasm of the float participants, and the costumes that they have on. So if you guys see a nice float that you like, give them all a big round of applause. And let's give the judges a hand for helping us out tonight. Woo! Yay! The Civil Air Patrol is the Minnesota wing from St. Paul Squadron, and they'll be helping this week in doing launch field assistance, tracking the balloons, and helping out with the launch in general. Paul!
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Wisconsin. Happy birthday to you.
Woo! Should we sing that one more time? This balloon is being sponsored by Pepsi, it looks like. The gentleman on the back will be in one of the reenactment balloons tomorrow. That should be interesting to see. And they also have the historic sesquicentennial booklets if anyone would like one. Stick your hand out.
There's Gary Gruba. Gary pilots Air Bear Serenity. We'd like to see him back. He's from the Minneapolis area. St. Cloud. Gary Gruba and crew. Sponsored by KJ's Photo. And this is what?
This is pilot number 11 tomorrow. It'll be Scott Christensen. You, your kids, your grandparents, whatever, to appointments, after school activities, anywhere you need to go.
Notice how the units come down the street. We've got to watch very carefully their timing on the tug of those burner cords. It could be the last year for a Hot Air Affair banner if we don't time it just right. This is Russ Perkinson from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
He said, "Go Steelers." What do you think we should do to his van? You are in Packerland.
Again, we welcome him after he's traveled over 1,000 miles through the snow to get to greet us today in Hudson, Wisconsin. Again, thank you for traveling. Again, we got to time that tug on the burner cord just right. We don't want to melt that banner across the street. He's tempted. He's being cheered on. I think they've got it head on there. Couple more inches.
Go, go. Not now.
Try to peel those letters off the vinyl now.
Hot stuff.
Michael Lathrop.
This is Michael Lathram's balloon, and it looks like they're sponsored by Hilltop Service Center. Now, if you have a problem with your car, you go up on the hill, and Howie will fix you up.
That's Michael.
His name is Mike Lathram.
Lathrop.
And they're from Burlington, Wisconsin. Yay! Looks like we've got our first kazoo unit coming down the street, and they're gearing up. So, from St. Patrick's School, let's hear some music.
Now that's creativity, taking the microphone and putting it right up their kazoo.
Okay. Next we have St. Croix Feed and Pet Supply, obviously. Up at Lakefront Park on Sunday, you're going to be able to go down to the Fantasy Corral, see the horses, reindeer, and other special little creatures from Allison's Pet and Food Store. They're located up on the hill. Aren't they sweet?
We just gave away our secret. We have a Labrador dog in the back of the truck. He's been quiet right up until this point here.
So how do those reindeer pull a sleigh full of toys? They're so tiny. One reindeer can pull up to 500 pounds. McGruff, the crime dog, and other dog drill teams, they're going to have a pet costume contest. So if you can dress your pet up in a hoop skirt, you might just win the prize. ballot is from Hudson Physicians and Hudson Medical Center. We all know where they are, and we hope we don't have to ever go there, but when we do, we know they're there. I hope those aren't blood samples or something. Chapstick, all right. Hermetically sealed. All right. Things are reaching fever pitch. Will they burn the banner or not? Oh. Let's see a flame.
You know, we might be starting a new annual event here without even trying. Also this evening, after the torchlight parade, there we go. Woo! I think that's going to curl right up before we get all done this evening.
From Stillwater. That balloon that just tried to burn the banner down was from Amit's Apple Orchard Balloon Rides over in Stillwater. West of downtown Stillwater. You can go over there, pick apples, have a balloon ride. Get your eyebrows singed.
Now, if you notice, that's an oversized basket. How many pounds can we lift up in that basket? How many pounds can you lift up? That's an oversized basket. We don't see many of those. Okay, so almonds can take up to 8 people, pilot and 7 others. And again, if you ever want to try out the sport of ballooning, that's something you can do. Not this weekend, because this is a...
The Amit's balloon is going to be multicolored vertical stripes, so watch for that one tomorrow.
And again, look for that big basket, because that is a mammoth basket.
Is this the basket that's going up tomorrow? Okay, should be fun. The Amit's balloon is sponsored by Indian Head Glass of Hudson.
There's going to be a basket tomorrow on display that will carry 20 people. So, not to one-up you, not to do that. But that's something to the biggest basket that you're going to see.
I'm not so sure I'd want to be one of the 20 up in a balloon.
There's Dino.
This is our All-American Sinclair balloon. We have the pilots are coming from... The pilots are from Salt Lake? The pilots are coming down from Calgary, Canada to fly their balloon, and the staffing for it is from Salt Lake City. So tomorrow when you guys see a dinosaur floating past your living room window, don't worry, it's true. Their balloon looks like T-Rex, actually. I hear buzzing. I guess they're bees, huh?
This is another perfect example of one bag does fit all. As you can see from a 6-footer in the front row. Although we do have one out of uniform, but he is color coordinated. This is the bees from Perkins. And I want to let you know that they used a whole roll of garbage bags in preparation for tonight. rendition of Happy Birthday, I believe. That was just beautiful.
This is a very beautiful song they're going to sing right now. You ready, you guys?
We're ready!
Go Perkins. Okay, ready. 1, 2, 3. Go Perkins!
I can name that tune in 3 kazoos.
Go John! Yeah! Perkins rolls!
And that's the Perkins crew with a rendition of When the Saints
Nice outfit,
Come Marching In
okay.
as they march out. I just want to know, are those honeybees or killer bees? Either way, they're going to be moving on now as we come on to our next unit. We have a little bit of everything at the Hudson Hot Air Affair. And you're going to get an opportunity to look at M&J's Sled and Dog. Again, a dog team, an active team, and you'll have a chance this weekend to go up and just see how that winter activity takes place as well.
You'll be able to see the dogs and sleds in action up at Plaza 94 tomorrow. That event's being sponsored by Plaza 94 in the morning. They'll also be out on the launch field in the afternoon, and for that they're being sponsored by Tom Nielsen.
Finally, a sport that fits the weather here.
Well, I hope so, unless it gets too warm tomorrow, but it should be just perfect for sled dogging, yes?
Perfect for sled dogging tomorrow, just right?
Good
Perfect
sled
conditions.
dogging weather tomorrow?
And if you notice, the ones on the truck are just resting, keeping all their energy up for their activities tomorrow. Again, just perfect weather for them.
How many dogs do you have attached to one sled at a time? You'll normally be able to see 6 dogs attached to one sled going at a time. You can see their little noses peeking out the doors here. And look at the little puppy the boy in the back is carrying. Is he really cute? So is the puppy. Oh, here comes another little puppy. Isn't he cute?
Again, the MJ Sled Dogs, and you'll get a chance to see them tomorrow, and again, go up and meet the puppy. The North Hudson Pepperfest have brought the entire committee along.
That's it? Do a cartwheel for us or something.
And we want to remark how beautiful their new 1998 float is for this year. They just got their new insoles put in. Pepperfest, another fun activity. Another round of Burn the Banner.
Come on.
It always bothers me, though. You know, whenever we get into these things.
Come on, Eddie's having a heart attack every time you guys do that. Woo!
You can just see the headline in the paper. Burning Banner burns balloonist.
This is George Eibach from Rochester, Minnesota. And I'm going to find out in a second what his balloon's going to look like.
Good evening. It's solid blue, multicolored bunting.
We have a solid blue balloon with multicolored bunting, so you can watch for that one tomorrow. And their balloon is being sponsored by Burnix Pepsi. So everyone drink Pepsi while you're watching the balloons.
And again, if weather permits, we will be looking at an 8 a.m. time. 40 hot air balloons plus, and then those special shapes. You've seen their special trailers, but you've got to wait till tomorrow to see their special shapes. Again, first launch will be tomorrow morning.
Here we have somebody that made it all the way from Grand Forks, North Dakota. Dwayne Hansen, who's being sponsored by Chacon's Liquor Mart.
Welcome to Wisconsin.
The balloon is going to look like the one that's right on the trailer. A nice pretty yellow one with little bunting designs and multicolored little diamond shapes on it. Nice to see you here from Grand Forks.
And if you didn't know, Maggie also designs wedding dress and full occasion dress just from that description. I bet you write the wedding column, you know, the taffeta skirts and the...
Here's somebody who's probably freezing. This is Russ and Carol Kirk from Albuquerque, New Mexico, the southern balloon capital of the United States. And their corporate sponsor is Conoco and AutoStop.
If you noticed, everyone else just pulls on the burner cord for effect. They've been just pulling it on for the heat. You'll warm up, and Hudson will certainly warm up to you. Thanks for coming.
You'll be able to pick up their balloon because it says Conoco on it. Conoco balloon made their first flight ever in the snow today. How was it?
Soft snow makes
So what's better to land in snow or in a cactus patch?
It's not the cactus that bother me, it's the rattlesnakes. I'll run around in the snow anytime.
We do have channel 10 cable access here, videotaping the whole thing, and we're going to be out all weekend taping too. So anybody who can't make it to some of the events and want to see what's going on, if you want to watch any of this later on, it'll be on cable channel 10.
Pete Riley is from Forest Lake, Minnesota. Pete's sponsor is our overall sponsor, the Hot Air Affair. We welcome Pete and his crew.
Looks like they're dressed in sesquicentennial garb.
A good, sensible hat is what we always say. It looks like you have a good, sensible hat. And he looks like he has a lip mitten on as well, just for the occasion.
You'll be able to look at the Dreamscape balloon tomorrow. It's just like the one pictured on the van. So it's kind of fun when all the balloons are going by. You can kind of identify.
It's bigger when they're on the ground.
Yes, they are. Okay, we got Leisure Life Spas coming down the street with people in a hot tub. It's February 6th. What's wrong with this?
I just want to make sure, did they bring their trowel when the hole starts to freeze over? You know, that's what you do in ice fishing.
Do you think they can hook that up to a balloon and go airborne? Leisure Life Spa is located up in Plaza 94. If you're looking for a new hot tub for your house, go on up and check it out. They also have pool equipment, spas, saunas, fixed up with gazebos and all the chemicals and accessories you need. What's the temperature in there? showing off.
I've got the president of the Hot Air Affair standing next to me, and I think she's already penciling in a new banner for next year's budget.
This is Bob O'Brien from Illinois, and he's being sponsored this weekend by Johnson Controls. Okay, stop it. Right now.
In between entries, we want to remind you that that hot water tub is really for a reason. Tomorrow, Plaza 94 Winterfest, sponsored by the Plaza 94 Merchants, will be doing all kinds of things. The kids pick a duck prize. That'll be at 9:30 in the morning. Winter sleigh rides, the hay scramble, all sorts of things going on. Again, part of Plaza 94 Winterfest. Again, one of the many parts of the rally. As we mentioned, the timing is everything in this sport. Now, he did get away without singeing the banner now. Before the parade gets finished, will he get done without singeing his
This daredevil is Bert Fischler from... I'm sorry, Bert Gessler. He's also sponsored by Johnson Controls. And he's also here from Illinois. Nice hat. You know, there's more cable down the street. Don't forget, immediately after the parade, there's going to be fireworks down at Lakefront Park. So when the parade's over, just head down to the river one block and you'll have another show of lights in the air. Also over the weekend, there'll be, tonight there's karaoke at Plaza Lounge and a dance at Dick's Bar and Grill. 7 to noon tomorrow, pancake breakfast at the Masonic Temple. Craft shows up at EP Rock, volleyball in the snow, smoosh boarding at 11. Oh! I don't know.
Takes a licking. Keeps on.
This is Neil Anderson from Illinois, and he's being sponsored this weekend by, also by Johnson Controls. Yay! We also have Evie Noble's sister Yvonne from Las Vegas. Evie's been in charge, or been helping coordinate the Hot Air Affair for the last 9 years. She does a great job. It is her life. Tonight's parade sponsors are McCarthy Steakhouse, St. Croix Grill, Valley Bookseller, Viking Electronics.
We've got to interrupt for just a second. We do have somebody that just lost their little boy. His name is Ryan. He's wearing a Notre Dame jacket. How old? Ryan's about 5 or 6 years old. Again, we're looking for him. He's wearing a Notre Dame jacket. So again, we're looking for Ryan, 5 or 6, in a Notre Dame jacket. If you can take a look around you, maybe we can get Ryan back. If you do find Ryan, or Ryan can hear me, please come over here, and we'll get you back with your parents.
This balloon is being piloted by Jim Wanzala.
And Steve is holding a pie ball, which we'd use. Steve Johnson from Duluth. The pie ball is something we use to check the weather.
This is 1861 hydrogen balloon Thaddeus Lowe won the Civil War with. If it wasn't for him, you wouldn't be standing here right now. You'd be a Confederate. We're launching a balloon. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A hydrogen-filled balloon, and it's launching, and it's going up, and you know what? There's no strings attached. Oh, in this game there are strings attached. Again, patented in 1861, the first field gas generator, important part of our history.
This balloon is being sponsored this weekend by Bright Keys Homes, and that's Steve Johnson from Duluth as the balloon master extraordinaire.
Now don't get confused, that's not the largest gas balloon. You see that tomorrow.
What time is the big balloon launching tomorrow, the gas one? 1 o'clock at EP Rock. You'll see the big balloon go up tomorrow with Thaddeus Slow in the Civil War. We have United Van Lines doing a drive-by on their parade route. Our kids.
This is where we just step back and let them take over at this point.
For those of you who've never had the opportunity to see this group in action, this is Viking Electronics, self-proclaimed as the world's largest marching kazoo band. Who's going to doubt it? I think we need to get that chicken some food. Okay, everybody, join them when they shout, hey. 1, 2. Okay, everybody. Hey! My God, they got it all here. Okay, everybody, that was the parade. Thanks for coming out. Now head down to the Lakefront Park and see some really nice fireworks put on by
Oh, okay.
today, we'll forget about it.
There he goes.
Sound that word. Here's Bus Hardy from Southfield, waiting for the on the Pepsi. Sponsors like the electronics. Hot Air Affair, up and in the I don't know bedroom for you. Got it right, bud. Hey, there you go.
Well, I think it's probably one of the most colorful, exciting things I've done all year long, probably in the last 5 years. I know I'll bring my husband back next year because he will really enjoy this.
Great. We're all pleased to have you here and I hope you have a good time.
Oh, I know that I will. Thanks, Randy.
Okay.
Publishing, Best Bus. There's an optional balloon launch, and it's get set, go! There's the sprint takeoff. The battle in the middle. We gotta have a cross. We're flying females taking the front. Ladies and gentlemen, for the third year in a row, the Flying Females International Smooth Sport Champions.
Halt! Left, hey! Order.
There's going to be some enemy fire coming in here. I wouldn't mind having civilian casualties.
Okay. Yep, clear. Okay. Whack. Barrel, muscular is, yeah.
Halt!
Okay.
Right, hey!
Okay.
Forward. Huh. Right files, right. Huh.
Good job.
Can I get a picture of you?
Photo ops.
Turn around, hurry. I'll take one. Turn around, Alex.
Huh. Right,
Wow,
yeah,
Alex.
Halt. Left, hey!
Use the big old key.
Order. Halt.
Thank you.
Order. Halt. I haven't got a clue, Sergeant. And I don't think I'd be too happy if I did know what they were saying.
You should hear what they're saying about us out there.
Company, ready? Aim! At extreme elevation. Fire!
Still not sure. Absolutely still. You never know. It still could be a wad, you know, like a piece of paper for the blank.
You repulsed them.
Oh, that's fine.
Forward! March! Platoon! Halt! Fire by company! Company ready? Fire! Fire at will!
I'm not going to bow. You're going to have to pull me back.
And I believe that I'm going to be overtaken by the south here at some point. As soon as we get our celebrity guest who's going to be going up with me, I will initially go up about 50 feet on a tether line and try and see what I can see of the southern emplacements here. Radio that information, well, I will telegraph that information back down to the forces on the ground, and that should help them deploy their forces to counteract what the Rebs are doing over there. What we're actually waiting for now is another passenger who's going to go up with me, who I think is being brought in here at any moment. If anybody has any questions about this balloon, I'm told it was used in the 1943 Wallace Erie movie, This Man's Navy, and I don't know when the last time it's actually been flown. We're going to free fly it today, so I hope it's airworthy. We've checked it out, and we think it is. We expect to fly till sometime around sunset out to the north or east of here, and find some nice open territory. The person that I'm flying with is a student gas pilot, so we'll try and do some landings for him. When we come in for a landing, we deploy what's called a trail rope, which you can see coiled up right here on the back side of the basket. What that does for us is give us what's called reusable ballast, because as we come down to the ground, more of that trail rope lays on the ground the closer we are to the ground, and it offloads that weight from the basket, from the balloon, which in effect makes the system we're flying lighter. So if we're coming down at 300 feet a minute, and the trail rope is 150 feet long, we drop it off as we get within 150 feet of the ground. This whole envelope basket net system starts getting lighter. The trail rope in total weighs about 50 pounds. So it tends to just round off our descent rate without having to do any burning as we'd have to do in a hot air balloon. Now, the problem with the trail rope, if you're doing an intermediate landing, is after you land, when you want to take a clock, so I think we'll wait and see if our celebrity guest shows up, and we'll do a reenactment, then we're going to go off and free fly for a while. Thank you all for coming out today. This is really pretty outstanding. You guys look like you're enjoying yourself. Yeah.
That's what's keeping the balloon down.
Elevating up into the air.
Very high.
Use it up.
Can you see the enemy? Lieutenant, I can observe the enemy! Rebels at 12 o'clock! Preparing to advance!
I don't see anything, Corporal.
Lieutenant! Rebels!
Six Wisconsin, form a line right here. Hold and hold, spread out. Fire! Fire at will. Come on, let's keep up a hot fire.
It must be.
what have we here?
For you. He's also wounded, so make the stitches real big.
It looks to be the commander. Major, we have a wounded man here. I think you might want to do something with him. Preferably something not real nice.
Yeah, bring him back over here.
Oh,
You're on the move again. Find some strength, Reb.
Good job.
The captured reps.
Very good. Very commendable.
Oh.
Yeah, you get it.
Hey, I want those guns clean tonight, too. Spotless.
John Diedrich tells me that there is insufficient climatic conditions for as long as 3 o'clock.
Roll into the mud.
Don't roll in the mud.
Please stick around.
He's one of them gentlemen. We ain't got much room for him on our side either.
Standing there with a blank gun.
Sam, it's flying away. See how he does that? He drops the sand off with the cup.
All right, if you get work.
Back to the suburban. Looter.
of it, think about it.
We'll talk later. Let's talk to the radio people. Okay.
Never seen this. It's gotta be awful cold.
Abby.
Got a problem there. Let's put this burner up. Oh, she's got the other pin there.
Carol, you got the other pin?
Battery go yet?
Oh my.
Hey, sorry.
From Albuquerque.
Also a Honda.
Good. Nice. I like pressure.
This is the first time that Errol's ever landed in snow. He did pretty good, by golly. His little paws went out. Stopped him from going down too fast.
Can you introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Russ Grantham, pilot of the Conoco Blue, colors of Conoco. Here we are in beautiful Hudson on an outstanding flying day.
This will be your second or third day flying in the winter snow or something?
Third day, and first time flying in, let's put it this way, real cold stuff like this. I'm not used to this white stuff where I'm at, so this is fun.
Albuquerque.
That's correct. Well, we get the white stuff, but it usually doesn't last quite as long as it does here.
Okay. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Nice having you on.
Hey, you bet.
Introduce yourself here.
Hi, my name's Carolyn Grantham. I fly the Conoco Hot Air Balloon. I'm out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. We've been flying that balloon for about 4.5 years now. We get to travel all over the country, and this is our very first time in snow, and we're really tickled about this.
Nice, smooth, easy landing on Friday when I crewed with you.
Oh, we did. We really did. And it was fun because I just sat down, and I sat down on the crust of the snow, and then it kind of went poof, down into the snow. It was really neat.
Your mascot, Earl?
My mascot's Earl. He's a flat cat, we call him. He's actually a kind of a roadkill cat. We attach him to the bottom of the basket so that when we fly over a crowd, they look up, and here's this little flat cat attached to the bottom of the basket. He gets a lot of attention, and we have a lot of fun with him all over the country.
Great. Well, I hope you have a good time, and I hope to see you next year.
Oh, we're already booked to come back.
All right.
Thanks, Randy.
Good morning, Cat. Say good morning, Cat.
Cat. Oh yeah, that's right. I forget. How fast we forget.
Yes, yes.
That was yesterday, and yesterday's gone.
Okay.
Today I'm Bartholomew Constantine Sabatini Gugliacci.
More balloonist humor.
I don't know. You need a hat?
Oh, okay.
These don't work, we'll use them for ballast, so if we need to get up, you throw one of these.
Okay.
Ballast. You get it almost all the way straight, don't start burning. You gotta stay warm.
You brought your own windshield too, right?
Yep. All the Velcro is in. And now we see number 3 up there. And we just follow that load tape right through and into the vent. This one
top the fleece line. That one's got to be clear. It should fit all the way to the basket. I don't know, what do you think, Captain? I think it'll fly.
I think so.
Okay.
Not too many holes.
We want that one. That big one down there, that's okay.
Okay.
That's our people hole.
Okay.
Wake up! Okay, they're gonna crank it up.
Pardon me?
They're gonna crank it up now, and we will be airborne in 10 minutes.
All right.
I don't know how to work any of that. I put the snowball on this guy's top here, and then when he deflates it, he'll get hit with the snowball. I don't know. Where you used to live. Have you ever seen that tower? Looks like a lighthouse.
Oh, okay.
It's the other tower in Hudson. Good, so we're gonna follow that.
Oh, okay.
Right there is the middle school.
So that's where the second one goes up there, right? It's an all.
Hello!
Hello down there!
Great Big X.
Great Big X.
Do they put it down there?
Yeah.
Once they land, or do they drop it too?
No, they set it down.
Somebody. Oh, what came back here? Oh.
Gotta remember to put beans in the bag next time.
Yeah.
The silo?
Yeah.
But you can't see it.
White House.
Where can you?
You can right there. Yep, right in that valley.
Where we clean the bottom of the basket off, right?
Right back out.
Okay, hang on, everybody. Hang on.
Okay.
fence lines coming up here.
Okay.
Picture of our mark in the snow.
I thought the snow would be softer than that. It's pretty crusty. Watch the fence, guys.
There they go.
Watch
There
the
you go.
fence.
There
Watch
you
the fence.
go.
Watch the road. Oh, that's the railroad. No problem.
There, I got a great shot of them right now, all four of them. Yeah, geez, where's the Polar Bear Club?
All the places. But it wasn't part of the model. Oh, really?
As you come over the hill, there's Somerset Town Hall. Right around it, there's kind of fields that I can get around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, gate's locked.
We're out of the woods, we're out of the dark, we're out of the night.
Little bump here. Grab a hold of that. Slow us down.
Yeah.
Oh, come on down, balloon.